It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And it is Friday, and as promised, we got some weather today. Woke up this morning at about 5:30 to take Bentley out to do his morning constitutional and was stunned. When I opened the door, it was dark, it was windy, and it was hot. It was like 86 degrees, which is extremely unusual for us here in San Diego County. Um, Wind has been blowing pretty hard. It knocked over my umbrellas, uh, knocked over my eaves needle crest again. Poor thing. I got to bury that deeper. But all of the plants are still standing. The Aluaudia procera, I was a little concerned that it would go because it is just a cutting, but it has withstood all of the wind. That pine tree out there in the golf course was blowing like crazy. But good news, the wind was blowing that way, so I don't have tons of pine needles to clean up. I thought we would go around and just see. This has been our first rain event since we moved to Vista. Frankly, it's been our first rain event in months. I mean, I don't remember the last rain event we had, period, here in San Diego. But this xeriscape was protected by the eave. I mean, we got rain. It's been pretty steady all day, but I would be very surprised measurably if we got more than about 1/4 of an inch. It wasn't ever heavy. It's just kind of been sprinkling. And this whole area is dry, which is good because these are desert plants, these are cactus, and they're not accustomed to summer water. And I absolutely was in no rush to have them get wet. The Pedalanthus bracteatus hasn't changed much since yesterday, has it? Remember, these are cuttings, so this is all going to dry up and the leaves are going to fall off. Even this, the Aluaudia procera in my little head planter stood up. I think the air conditioner might have protected it from the gustiest part of the winds, but this umbrella was laying down when I got up this morning. Remember, I put a little bit of water on my Euphorbia millii a couple of days ago because, you guys were right in the sense that a millii is a subtropical plant, which means that it's in situ, it's used to summer rain. Therefore, it should be okay with summer water. And I remembered, when we were in Brazil, when it rains all the time in Brazil, and we were there in the spring, right, Greg? It was springtime, warm. It was very warm, very humid, and the millii were growing everywhere. But I don't see that has really shown any improvement since the watering event, which has me a little concerned because I had hoped that it would have sprung back a bit, thus proving to me that it wasn't dormant, that it was active, that it was able to intake the moisture I provided. On a house plant, if it gets a little dry and you pop a little water on it and it just kind of bounces back, that's what I was hoping for. Didn't happen. So we're going to have to keep our eye on the millii. As far as, detritus, you can see what I'm dealing with here. I've got some pine needles, some random leaves, probably about an hour's worth of work to do tomorrow afternoon when the rain passes. But it's the kind of work that I love because just spending a little time out here will make all the difference in the world, much like vacuuming a dirty rug. All of my rocks stayed put. No problems with runoff of any kind anywhere in here. Let's see. All of the rock. I was mostly concerned about, with heavy wind and rain, plants falling over or rock top dressings being askew, but no, none of the above. Everything has stood the test. Yeah, I mean, this millii here too just still looks really, really limp. So time will tell, guys, on that. I was concerned because this sandbox that we made is really shallow. This is about an inch deep, and of course it's a concrete base with absolutely no drainage. So I was concerned that rain, would the sand would wash off. But granted, we didn't get a copious amount, and I'm really, really happy all of the sand has stayed in place. There has been no runoff whatsoever, so that's good news. Now look, see, those milii right there are standing alert and happy and are completely fine. I'm just looking to see what I can see. I see no ill effects. This atoll, Echeverria Blue Atoll, right here, is giving me a little cause for concern. It's looking a little limp. Hopefully that'll be okay. I also noticed, I noticed this the other day looking through the bedroom window, that I'm not thrilled with this design space. It's too flat. And I did bring some Cynthia Giddy from the Chula Vista garden that I was saving them for the front. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this Echeverria right here. Yeah. Let's pull this guy out of here. Put a taller plant there, and maybe even right here. And then that agavoides I can pull in over here. These I brought from Chula Vista, and they were in that middle island, kind of protected, over where the big Aleuaudia was, and there was a lot of undulata, and they were kind of tucked up underneath, and they have not appreciated the transfer. These have not done particularly well with all the heat. They're really, really struggling, and they look like crap. I'm confident that they will bounce back, but they're such a focal element in this garden. I think what I will do is take that agavoides and perhaps pop it in right here. I think that'll go a long way to just kind of fluffing up the look of this. Also, my tillandsias in McClam have taken a major hit. Oh, and also right now it's 76 degrees out, so the weather has definitely broken for the better. It is still a little muggy and thick and humid, but I'm super hopeful that our plants will be okay. This got really quite wet, and there is no drainage in McClam, so yeah, this is just going to really need a major overhaul, isn't it? I need to take out the tillandsias. I need to take out, these poor, look at that. I mean, that is toasted. There is just nothing left to save on this plant. Even these, oh, you know what? This little Crassula ovata golem, I popped in here recently as a cutting. Look at that. It's not even showing any roots. I don't even really remember doing that, but I must have done it at the time I was working on this installation. Probably before the grand reveal, I saw some empty spots and decided to pop this in to fluff it up. And because that went in as a cutting, super stressed and burnt. The only thing that looks good in here is the little aloe. And my little Fred Ives crest, I'm so hopeful that this survives and thrives, because this is a really spectacular plant once it pops out of dormancy. These agavoides I put in, these were plants that I got from Waterwise Botanicals as part of this installation, and of course they're absolutely fine. Someone suggested that I put the crest that's in the red pot out front in this Susan Ock pot, which is a fantastic idea, you guys. I thought of that too. I think it would be spectacular, but I really like the pot in this location, and I don't think that crest is going to thrive right here. It's too exposed, because this little cactus is dead as a doornail. So I'll just have to keep my eyes open for something special for this pot and find another pot for the crest out front. This looks like a forest fire raged through. This little area is horrific. Look at that. Look at all that burn. But the tomentosa is 100. So maybe Oh gosh, even these harmsii look fried. I think I'll get some more tomentosa to fill in here since that clearly likes it. And the aloe distance too, you know, it's a little yellowed, but overall holding up along with the cotyledon mint truffles.
It's getting wet.
Oh goodness, yeah. Daddy says, or Greg says, the phone's getting wet. It's starting to pick up the rain again a little bit. This Millii mermaid's tail and just overall, this is recovering beautifully from the stress of transplant, throwing off some lovely new blooms. Really, really happy with that. Oh crap. Look at all the leaves that blew into my agave sun glow. I'm going to have to get some tweezers in there to get those out. My variegated Millii is doing fine, looks good. This was the pot that the little Salisto cactus Straussii was in that rotted, so I need to find another plant for this. Oh, Greg mentioned that the Millii over here, in BTW, what a good combo, Macrocarpus and Millii, right? But that Millii, it doesn't look as bad as some, but it doesn't look good. And look at this one. Not particularly great either. All of my mangaves, without exception, are thriving. The Crassula undulatas and ovatas are doing really well. The cotyledons are doing well. This blue atoll looks good. It's throwing off some pretty little flowers. This rubra tinctum doesn't look the greatest. This coin plant we talked about that was popped in here primarily as a cutting. I still have not given up hope for this. I think it will recover and be okay. I still feel confident about that. The Euphorbia posanii looks terrific. Love and life. Yeah, I mean these little sedums here and the ghost plants and these all look great despite really getting hit hard with the elements, but they're clearly fine. And then my lovely little arrangement over here also didn't really get hit by the rain because of the eaves. So there's a little bit of dampness right at the beginning of this bed, but as we get deeper in, it's not even touched. So that's also great news because I have this Ming thing that I don't want to lose. My little spiral cactus. Hello, cutie pie. Hang in there. It's got wet. You'll note I also pulled up all of my cushions and pillows, which is something I never did in Chula Vista. And then I wondered every year why I needed new pillows and cushions. So I'm going to try to do better with that. I'm really interested to hear some weeds. Really interested to hear your guys' experience. Those of you that live here in the land of milk and honey in Southern California, Northern California. How did you fare? Did you guys get rain? How much? What about the wind? How are your plants? Did you have any immediate casualties? Those of you that live in hostile climates that are a lot more adept at dealing with weather, we would appreciate encouragement from you, I'm sure. So let us know any thoughts that you might have or comments or suggestions. I would have covered my plants to protect them from rain, but the wind was also such a factor. I knew that the umbrellas would be useless. Ooh, look at this blue atoll, Greg. And look at that. Despite the fact that it is clearly dying, and that's all rot, all that black, look at that. It's still blooming. It's still celebrating. That almost makes me want to cry. I mean, look at that. That whole stem is black with rot, and yet it's still trying to flower. And the one right next door appears to be perfectly healthy. Looks like this mom though, has some babies. Look at that, you guys. Very, very healthy, happy little ones. So even when this one goes completely pear-shaped, I will still have those little babies to carry on. So that's good news. And another beautiful mangave that's absolutely thriving. That potted arrangement and those plants in the back there, along with my crested aeonium sunburst gift from the neighbor, also didn't really get hit because of the eaves. My spiral cactus didn't really get hit. So That's good. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey, because I was just clutching my pearls. You know, these are my babies. They're all new. This was the first time we'd experienced any weather here, and coming off of that horrible heat wave. I'm still just a basket case, wanting my babies all to be okay, and I'm sure you can all understand. So let's be here for each other. Let us know how you're doing. If you'd like me to evaluate any of your plants, you can message me on Instagram at Laura Loves Succulents, and I'll take a look and tell you what I think. Meanwhile, as soon as we get over all the rain, and I think tomorrow the likelihood of it is much less, I can't wait to get out here and continue cleaning up detritus. So now that the weather is officially broken, we've had a rain event. Obviously, you're not going to want to put any additional water on your garden until the soil is fairly dry to the touch. So, you know, even if we don't have another drop of rain, I would wait. Temperature standard 80 degrees. I would wait at least a couple of weeks, if not longer, before applying any water. So, hope that helps. Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me know your experiences. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity in Vista, California, in the rain, with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.